Right, welcome back everybody. Let's get into our trending topics and take a look at what is topping the trending list. So first up, national state of disaster. So that is, I suppose, coming to, legislatively coming to an end, but it's now depending today whether it gets re-signed or not. So we're waiting to find out. We've been in this national state of disaster since lockdown, and that was exactly 2 years ago today. So there's a lot of pressure on President Cyril Ramaphosa to take it away. People are saying enough with the national state of disaster. We need to move on and forget about it. But I don't think it's as simple as that, as we've been told. So we need to go through a lot of things in order to do it. But I mean, what happens if we don't hear anything today? 719 days of lockdown. So
no, we have to hear something today.
We have to hear.
Because either the state of disaster is extended, or it is not. But there has to be an announcement.
There has
either
to
way.
be. Yeah.
So,
leaving it to the last second. Leaving it to the last second.
We await to hear what. But I think by all indications, there seems to be consensus, at least in the medical fraternity, that there's no point anymore.
No, not at all. I mean, I think that is the consensus, even though we are seeing a lot of different countries starting to struggle with it. But, you know, at the same time, you're seeing a lot of other countries open up and just even mask mandates gone, passports, the vaccination passports gone. So, you know, these are just some of the things that we are witnessing from around the world. So let's see what decision is made. Oh, and by the way, we are going to be speaking to Dr. Leslie Bramford from the National Health Department in a couple of minutes' time about this exact topic. So stay tuned for that.
All right, up next, we have hashtag Serena and hashtag Venus. We'll throw them together. And this, of course, emanating from the Critics' Choice Awards. So, Leanne, you were talking yesterday about the movie King Richard.
Yes.
And I did watch it. And by the way, can we have a moment here?
How
just
lovely.
To observe. They look
amazing.
Absolute picture.
They really do.
They were so beautifully coordinated there, Venus and Serena Williams, and they of course were also presenting an award. But of course, the reason why Venus and Serena is trending, not just for the movie, because there's a lot of talk about the movie now, King Richard, their father, but one of the award recipients,
Jane Campion,
she
for Power of the Dog,
director.
Yeah.
In her acceptance speech, went on to quip something about, you know, Serena and Venus not having to compete against men. Let's listen to what she had to say.
Give my love out to my fellow, the guys. The nominees. And, you know, Serena and Venus, you are such marvels. However, you do not play against the guys. Like I have to. Kirsten, give my love out to my fellow, the guys.
To the camera person who immediately panned to Venus and Serena for their reaction. As you can see, Venus slightly more stunned than Serena was at that particular comment, but it went down like a lead balloon. And many people feel that in saying what she did, she actually just, you know, almost rubbished the accomplishments of Serena and Venus. And everyone saying she didn't have to go there in order to elevate herself. You know, yes, so you too have your struggles in a male-dominated industry, but
don't belittle where
you cannot diminish what Venus and Serena had achieved and the odds against which they have actually achieved.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, when you do, if you haven't seen this particular movie, the reason that they're there, King Richard, and that's Will Smith plays their father, Richard Williams, in it. And I mean, the struggle that they went through. I mean, you know, it's one thing, I suppose, competing in the same field as a male, but the other thing for them is competing in the same field
and the struggle
as a
that
world
he
that
went
doesn't
through.
Want you to succeed.
The struggle that Richard Williams went through. And I think the thing here is many people very critical talking about the movie being about Richard Williams, King Richard, but what they forget is that this had the sanction and the blessing of both Serena and Venus.
Yeah.
And they know the role
They
that
know
their
their
dad
lives.
played to get them to
Absolutely.
where he was.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk about that movie some other time.
Oh, well, there's lots. There's
Yeah.
Oscars coming up. So believe me, that is something you're going to be seeing a lot of. So there's lots of talk that Will Smith will win the Best Actor award for that one. Ndlozi, let's quickly move on because our guest is waiting for us there. So Ndlozi is the next trending topic. So here's an interesting one. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi of the EFF basically talking at the National Inquiry into Racism and Discrimination in advertising that there's nothing brilliant about multi-choice except that it's owned by a Boer, Koos Becker, who started Naspers with the money from the exploitation of our people is what they were saying. But just in general, it's talking about the whole idea of the advertising industry, and Mbuyiseni Ndlozi basically taking it on and just saying that the advertising industry in South Africa needs to change and that it is very, very racist. So this is pretty much so why Ndlozi is trending, and a lot of people are jumping in and saying it is about time somebody speaks about this because it's just terrible when it comes to racism and discrimination in advertising. So that's where that is stemming from.
Yeah, and the final one, hashtag Crystal Palace Man City. And they played, of course, last night to a draw. And this would, of course, favour Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because Liverpool now, with the game in hand, if they win that game in hand, will be 1 point behind
So
Man
tomorrow's
City.
a big game. Is it Arsenal tomorrow?
Yeah.
So, okay, we
Tomorrow's
play
Arsenal and
Liverpool.
Liverpool will be able to seize that advantage lifeline that's been thrown to them.
All right.
Right, those are trending topics for this morning.
All right, so we said Dr. Leslie Bramford standing by talking about the whole situation around COVID, the state of disaster, and where we are with COVID and whether or not we should be just opening up and living life as we remember it a few years ago. Stay tuned. We'll talk about that after the break.